This is Professor Payne's cold calling script. So we're going to be going over this right now, everybody. So I'm going to be breaking down not like pretty in depth right now, like why we go through and say the things we do. And hopefully this is helpful to you guys. Now, there's no perfect script out there. That's why I've included, leads manager scripts, cold calling scripts, different scripts from different companies. You guys can study, the flow you like, but this is one of the flows that I like, the way I like to talk to people. Let's dive right in. So conversation, make sure when you're reading this, the flow and the focus of how you want to talk is you want to have a conversational, you want this to be easy to follow and removes the pressure while setting clear expectations. You want this to be easy for the seller. This is basically just saying, hey, just remember to have these things in mind. Remember to smile like that, right? Remember to smile because people can feel your energy through the phone. I don't know if you've ever gotten a call from someone haven't really even said a word. Maybe they said one word and you can vibe that they're not having a good day, right? Maybe they said something, but if they say, hey, how you doing? They're smiling. You're like, oh man, this guy's bringing some energy. So even if it's hard and you don't want to bring energy, it is important, okay? You can follow this word for word if you want, but this is more of like a decent outline. So let's go through it. Hey, John, how's it going? My name's Nathan. Usually you can sometimes I don't even say, hey, this is Nathan. Sometimes I say, hey, John, how's it going? And I act like I already know him, right? But you can also say, hey, John, this is Nathan. How's it going? I know this is a bit out of the blue. That's used a lot, right? But I know this is a bit out of the blue, but I'm reaching out because I've been looking at properties in your area and I wanted to see if you've ever thought about selling your property, you might consider it. Something as simple as that, guys. I'm just calling to see if you've been open to selling, if you're considered selling your property before. Pause and let them respond. Now, guys, this goes back to what we've talked about. When I first started wholesaling, when I started cold calling, if people didn't respond yes or no to that answer, I felt like I had to convince them. I had to, oh, well, you haven't thought about selling? Well, what if I could do this and this and this? Or guys, if they're not even open to selling in the first place, what are you going to do? You're going to force them to sell? So don't take this personal. If you start out a conversation and they're like, no, I don't want to sell. There's not much you can do at that point to be like, well, what if I could do this and this and this? It's like they're either interested in selling or not, in my opinion. Okay. The next thing is setting the expectations and building the trust. Have you ever gotten a call from someone that, like a friend, that just goes right into it without telling you the purpose of why they're calling? It's kind of feel awkward. And you're like, oh man, I don't know when this call's going to end, And that's a friend. Imagine if someone cold calls you and just goes right into their script. You immediately just want them to stop. So what I like to do is I like to see if they're available to chat, right? I like to set the expectations of the call. So right here is awesome. And just so you know up front, I'm not here to pitch you anything. This isn't a sales pitch. I'm just looking to see if we might be a good fit to work with each other, okay? Or to help each other out. If it makes sense to keep chatting by the end of this call, we can do that. If not, no worries. Does that sound fair to you? Right? Yeah, it sounds fair. And by the way, this isn't going to take very long. And by the way, this isn't all in the script, but this is how I just elaborate a little bit. I'd say, yeah, by the way, this would take 5 or 10 minutes. Do you have 5 or 10 minutes to chat? Yeah, I do. Okay, great. So out of curiosity, what's got you interested in selling? What's got you thinking about selling? Let them talk, right? If they're like, I don't know why I'm interested in selling. For me, that's kind of a red flag, right? Because if they don't really know why they want to sell, how are we going to solve a problem, right? We could just go right into, our offer, but that, again, they're going to be like, well, thanks for your crappy offer. No, we have a problem to solve. And if you guys were on analyzing deals training, the other video that I did on how to analyze deals and make offers, you have to find out how you can help them solve their problems. It's going to be hard to make a deal happen. So again, if they don't know their problem or why, it's going to be tough. But if you want to keep going with that, right here it says, no problem. Sometimes people are just exploring options. Have you already looked into what selling might look like or spoken to anyone about it? I want to explore other options. Like, hey, what options have you explored? If you've been thinking about selling, what does that look like for you so far? Try to find out what's going on. And if they're like, I would press really hard on if you're like, hey, what's got you interested in selling? And they're like, I don't know. Be like, oh, come on, I know. You really press on that. Really? You don't know? Come on. If you're interested in selling, you must want to go somewhere. If they're like, why are you asking me all these questions? You could say, well, I have a lot of ways I can buy houses and I have other options that I can help people get to what they want. Maybe you want to go move somewhere. Maybe I can help you find a property that you might want to buy. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand the situation so we can work together better, right? Really try to understand why. why they want to sell. Then after, for me, the whole thing is why they want to sell. What are they trying to accomplish? That's what I'm really trying to understand deep, 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 deep. Okay. Then you can learn about the property.
Wholesaling doesn't have to be complicated or lonely. Join my free Facebook group, Painless Flipping, Wholesaling Real Estate Simplified, where we're building a community of wholesalers crushing their goals. You're going to get access not only to free training, but tools and even one-on-one help to land your next deal. The link is in the description, so don't miss out.
Now, for me, the property condition is important, but it's more why. What's the problem? What's the problem? I'm trying to nail this, beat this in your guys' head. How can we serve them? How can we help them? That is what we need to do when we're calling. If they don't know themselves, it's going to be really hard to get anything done. If you can't get that out of them, I'm going to say kind of like good luck, right? You got to have to get that out of them. Now, if they don't want to give you any information, they're a steel trap, go into learning about the condition of the property, because a lot of the times learning about the condition of the property will tell you maybe that's their motivation. Their house is falling apart. So learn about the property condition. Can you tell me a little bit about the property? A lot of people have all these questions they want to ask about the house. Can you tell me about the roof? Can you tell me about the kitchen? Can you tell me about blah, 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 blah? I don't really go too deep on that. I just ask a couple questions. All right. I'll find out more about the property later, but again, it's all about what they're trying to accomplish. Okay, here's some questions on that. Uncover their biggest obstacles, finding pain points. It's all about finding pain. Nathan Payne, Professor Payne, right? So sounds like a great spot. Can I ask you, what's been holding you back from selling so far? Is it the repairs, timing, or maybe not knowing what your options are? Good question. It's all about asking questions when you're calling people, right? And that's why, like, maybe you feared or it's been hard to call people because you don't know what to ask. Well, hopefully I'm giving you guys the structure. Well, I am giving you structure. Hopefully it's making sense that your goal is to find out why and how you can help them accomplish their goals. That's why we're calling, right? How do we solve that problem? Discuss their price expectations. Have you thought about what you need to get out of the property if you decide to sell? Or what's your asking price? What would you like to get for the property? Are you looking to get top dollar, or is speed and convenience more important to you? Okay. If they give you a number, okay, that's helpful. Thanks for sharing. Based on what you're looking for, I'd love to dig into a little bit deeper and see if we could make something work. Now, get this, understand this, guys. Most of the time when they give their price, they're asking for way more than they'll usually accept. Okay, that's just how it is. Nobody's going to really anchor themselves like super, super low. That's our job, is to have that conversation and get them, depending on the condition or the problem that they're having, to reality, right? Like if they want $1 million and their house is worth $1 million exactly, then they're probably, if they want retail, they're going to have to list it, right? Like if they want to sell it fast, easy, and convenient, we're not going to be able to give them $1 million, especially if, you know, the house needs a lot of work or if they need to sell in 7 days, because we need to make money. We're investors. We're not able to do something and solve that problem without give and take, right? So I always check the options they've explored. I usually do it a little bit earlier in the call, just naturally, but here it is. Have you already listed the property, talked to an agent, or are you mostly seeing what's out there? Okay. This would have probably already arisen in the conversation, but I say, hey, have you considered listing with a real estate agent to sell it? Have you considered flipping it yourself? Have you considered keeping it as a rental? Have you considered, I just always ask like all the different options that are available to them to try and disqualify them and see if like what options they've already done. Cause I don't want to go over, hey, have you thought about flipping it, and go into too much information on that when they're like, hey, that's not something I ever want to do. Cause I've looked into it. You just got to basically ask them, hey, what have you done so far to try and sell this thing? So they give you more information, and it gets them talking a lot too. Wrap up next steps. Let's see. I don't want to read, to be honest, anymore. You guys can get the script. You guys get the idea. So when it comes to closing on this script, it really depends on where they're at in the sales process. A lot of the time, they're just in the exploring phase, and they're like, well, you know what? I'm still looking at my options. We'll help them understand what options are available. Well, have you thought about listing it? Yeah, I have. My Aunt Sue is an agent. I said, well, you should call her if you want to list it, if you're open to it. Do you mind if I follow up with you tomorrow after and see how your conversation went with Aunt Sue, so I can, see if I can work with you, or if you're going to decide to go list with her? I always push them away from my option just so I make sure that they feel confident that I'm not trying to force them to do anything. And if they work with Aunt Sue, great, right? But if they work with me, even better. So remember, guys, that it doesn't have to be a one-call close. I know a lot of people, you probably see that online, or like a lot of the videos on YouTube are like, watch me close this property like in 5 seconds. It's like, that's not really reality. No one wakes up in one day, like one morning, being like, oh, I want to sell my house. Then they get a call and they're like, okay, I'll sign. It usually takes some time, right? It usually takes a couple months, right, for that process to happen. And depending on where you catch this person, depends how fast you can get the deal done. So if this person has been thinking about selling for a while and you catch them at the end of the process where they're like, yes, they're ready to accept an offer, maybe you just came at that right timing. But you can catch a lot of people at the very beginning phase where you help them through that process and you build that trust and you get them to the finish line. So don't feel pressure that you need to get this done on one call. It can just be like, oh, hey, you know what? I talked to you about the condition of the house. You did tell me why you're selling. I said we would talk for 5-10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. Can we continue, or are you, do you have to go and do something? Oh, I actually have to go pick up my kids. Okay, great. Do you mind if we pick this call back up tomorrow or after you pick your kids up? I just have a couple more questions about, blah, 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 blah. And then you can pick it up later. You don't have to, and don't feel like you have to make an offer on that first call. Guys, I hold back my offer pretty much until they're ready to sign, until they're ready to give a yes. I'll give them a range, but I don't give like a definite final offer number in a contract until I already know they're going to say yes or no. Like there's no reason for me to send them a contract and just hope they're going to accept it. I send it over the phone when they're ready to agree. Okay. Or else, like, what's the point, right? Because they're going to go with someone else that's probably going to beat my offer if I don't make sure that they're ready to go. All right. And this goes deeper into sales. But what I'm trying to tell everybody here on the cold calling script is don't feel like it needs to be a one call close. It usually isn't when you're calling people and you have to build a rapport and it takes time. Okay. Just understand that. And if it doesn't take time and you got lucky, well, good. They've been thinking about it for a long time and you just got there at the right time. So that's the cold calling script that you guys are going to be able to get by going to the group, joining the group, and then going to guides, getting the action plan, or going to the very last page, going to the key wholesaling scripts, and then it's under the qualifying opportunities, Professor Payne's link. Now, look, if you guys don't want to have to do all that work, just comment scripts and I'll just send you the link to the scripts. I won't make you go through the whole 90-day action plan, all that hubbubaloo, all that mumbo jumbo. All you got to do is just comment scripts. Okay. All right, everybody. So now that you guys have the script, how can you feel more comfortable? How can you feel better about going through it? Practice, guys, makes perfect. That's it. Role playing, role playing, role playing. You don't know how much role playing I did on my mission, how much role playing I did when I was doing door-to-door sales. We would have a correlation meeting every day before we went to knock doors, and we'd role play. We'd practice scenarios. Why? Because it helps you as you go through the script. It makes you feel way more comfortable. So confidence is built before the call. Now, that doesn't mean you don't make any calls until you feel like extremely confident. Confidence also comes from practicing and doing. You learn by doing. Remember that quote? So 3 steps to practice. Grab a partner or a mirror. Now, for me, a partner is way better than a mirror. But if you don't have any friends, okay, no friends, which I know you all have friends because you're all cool. I'm your friend. But anyway, grab a partner and practice. Your mom, dad, sister, friend, okay? Anyone that you met at a RIA, anyone that you're meeting in the Facebook group, okay? Read the script out loud. Out loud, guys. I'm telling you, if you read the script out loud, you're going to memorize it. It's going to be a part of you. You're going to internalize it way more if you read out loud. Another thing is if you actually write it down on a piece of paper. I know you have it here. I'm giving it to you. But if you write it down, it's going to be that much easier to remember. Why? Because when we put pencil to paper, pad to paper, whatever the saying is, it makes it easier. Okay. Repeat until it feels natural. All right. As you guys could see, as I was flowing through that script, you're going to be able to flow as you practice. And sometimes you're just it doesn't have to be like you're reading it word for word. I don't think you need to read it word for word, but in the beginning you might feel like you need to, but eventually it becomes natural. Okay. Practice makes perfect. Just start. All right. No, it's hard, but you've got to start. All right. You are there to serve people. There's people out there that need you, that are losing their houses. There's people out there that don't know what to do, but you can help them. All right. Okay. So let's talk. You guys have made it to the end and I appreciate you. So let's talk about the free script plus 90-day action plan. Want to feel 100% prepared and confident on every call? Download my free cold calling script that I just showed you and the role playing guide inside the 90-day action plan. Let me show you how to get it in the Facebook group. Okay. I showed you a little bit earlier, but if you guys again want another reminder, here it is. You go to the face, you type in painless flipping, wholesaling, real estate simplified. You go over here to guides. You click on here to training. You go through and you click on the 90-day action planner. Once you fill out the information, we will send you a link to the 90-day action plan. The 90-day action plan tells you everything you need to crush this business. Okay. It's going to help you I don't have to like go too deep into it. Right here, it shows you the table of contents and everything you get. Right here under learn how to role play on page 17 and 18, it's going to show you the best ways to role play, the best ways to learn scripts easily. Okay. Which is very important. You need to be able to flow and memorize, and I would say even memorize the flow. So when you're having conversations, you know where this is going, and it includes all my contracts, all my wholesaling scripts, all for you for free. Hope you guys enjoy. You click on the link, you go, you're going to be able to see a bunch of different options, folders with scripts. Qualifying opportunities is where you're going to see this one we went over today. There's a lot of different ones you can check out, pick which ones you like, but Professor Payne's cold calling script for wholesalers, that's the one that we talked about. I think that's a great one for beginners. And then again, we did discuss that depending on who you're calling, your conversation is going to have to change a little bit. Practice makes perfect, everybody. All right, so don't be nervous or worried if it's not perfect. It will get perfect and you'll get better over time. So you're not alone, everybody, in this. And that's why I made this, so you guys know, hey, I came from a lot of sales experience and I was nervous to call, okay? So you're not alone. Fear is normal, but preparation is power. If you want to feel powerful, get prepared, practice, okay? Guys, final steps. You can rewatch this training and grab the free resources inside my group. Also on my YouTube channel, you can watch these trainings and previous trainings where I dive in deep. I'm going to do a replay of this tonight so you can let your friends know, hey, this was good. You should, if you want to watch it again, I'm going to be streaming it again live. Join the free Facebook group now. The link is, I'm going to put the link in the comments right here for the Facebook group so you guys can get to it. If you don't know how to search it, I'm just going to put it in there for everybody. That's the link to the Facebook group. And one gift I could ask from you, if you guys have found any value in this, if you found this to be helpful, it would help me out a ton. If you could comment on this video, wherever you're watching it, if you could like this, if you could even share it, that would be super nice, because it's like, dang, these guys liked it enough that they're willing to share it on their social media. That would be sweet. If you could subscribe or do any of this stuff, that would mean the world to me. All right, guys, I give you a big old heart. Right? That's why I put this guy, because I believe some people, if they found value like that, they're going to, this might be you, right? Give me a heart, give me a like. I appreciate it. Because my goal, guys, in 2025, just so you guys know, 2025 is to be known as one of the top educators in this space. Why? Because I love teaching and I want to make wholesaling simple. That's my goal. Want to make wholesaling simple for everybody. It's not that complicated. You got to solve problems. You got to find people who have problems. You got to help them. You got to show love and do your best to serve people. Okay. So that has been my training for today, guys. I hope this has been helpful. I do this and I prepare all this because, again, I've been there and I care, and I know there's a lot of people that we can serve. I know that if you felt scared, you're not alone. Been there, done that. I'm not perfect. Sometimes you can still be a little nervous as you go through things, right? Little butterflies can be going, but get excited about it. Get excited to learn and get better every day. All right. So do those things for me and I appreciate it. And I will send you guys the scripts and the trainings just wherever you are. Comment script or just go where I showed you. Either way, if you don't want to wait for me to get back to you with the link, just go to the Facebook group and grab it in the 90-day action planner. Hope this is helpful.
All right, so here's your next step, everybody. Join my free Facebook group called Painless Flipping, Wholesaling Real Estate Simplified. If you're ready to take action and close your deals faster, this is where you need to be. You're going to be getting live trainings, free resources, and support all along your way. Link is below in the description, so just click it there. And don't stop there. Watch the next video here to learn more about wholesaling strategies that will help you get your next deal faster. Click it now and let's keep the momentum going.